Hello, hello. Happy Wednesday. Hope you're doing well. Here in the workshop, going to be working on some of this. I'm going to finish up some fountain pens that I began yesterday, and then I'm going to get these babies up and running to where I'll be shaping. So everything is good up to this point until shaping. So that's what we're going to start with, shaping 3 pens first, and then move into the other aspect of this stream, which will be the diamond painting portion. So let's hop over to the wood lathe and begin, because I got to get this going. Yes. All right. So anyway, I just made a new mandrel here. Let's put that on do not disturb. Yes. Yeah, just made a new mandrel. Just a little piece here of material that was already set up. And nice. I ended up getting this collet stuck the other day. I was trying to tighten it so much onto the mandrel that it just it didn't want to let go, I guess. And the little combination of that, and I suppose that it also or was it better the other one? Okay, I just leave it like that. That actually looked fine. But yeah, working on some copper patina. Here we got this. This is where we're starting. So we've got the caps and the barrels and everything already drilled and stuff for the rest of the process here. Sections have already been completely done, other than shaping. So that's what we're going to do first. Alrighty. Probably start off a little on the quieter side. Yeah. Start a little quieter. Well, I mean, I got the noise canceling, but I'm going to turn Morty on here in just a moment. So that'll add some volume. But hope everybody had a good, safe weekend. I was slacking yesterday. I didn't stream. We ran other errands, and then what in the heck? We ran other errands, and then it was WoW reset day. Sometimes. All right. Never mind. Yes. Yeah. I'm going to be a little heads down in the beginning so I can get these kind of cranked out. But feel free to ask questions and whatnot. So, yeah. There we go. Yes, okay. So, because my other calipers don't like to hold their size or count up how they're supposed to, I use the other ones because the other ones lock in place. And I need to get this down to 12, and I know that my mandrel is also closer to like 13 and a half. So, not far off. Yeah. One more. Hey, what's up, Brian? How you doing, man? Oh man, you brought a crowd with you. That's fun. Don't know if that was intentional, but that's what happened. What you been up to, man? Just working? I hear you. Me too, man. Should set up a cam. We could watch each other work. Oh yeah, that was nice. Okay. Okay, now I've got to measure the final lengths that I want the cap and the barrel to be, so I'm over at my little tray right quick, just for a moment. I have to measure the cap depth, so I'll measure from there and then measure the actual barrel. Ah, no cams, huh? Well, that makes it fun. Top secret. Okay, there's one. Yeah, I've got places where I can't put cameras as well, so. And I mean out in the workshop. Yes. Oh, jeez. Okay. So I got to put these back together. And this is how you get the most accurate. Because throughout the cutting, trimming, all that stuff process, the length could change. So, you know, a millimeter here and a millimeter there will eventually add up. So you want to keep it a certain size. And this is how I go about doing that. There. Okay, that's good, that's good. There we go. Let's swap this out now. Hey, what's up, Mike? You have a good weekend? What are you working on nowadays? Not nowadays, but this week, I suppose. Okay, we're gonna go with caps. Oh, let's see. So if you happen to get this stuck, I got this thing stuck. The mandrel here, it got stuck in the collet. Like I was trying to go like this to use my two handles to go opposing directions, but it kept slipping out of this one. So fortunately, I had the other Beal one that has like a hook that locks in, and then it kind of goes around, has a hammer or a handle for leverage. Yeah, that was something. What's this thing? Boo, can't reach it. Alrighty. So, caps. All these are going to be Marauder profile. They're already marked. See, that moves just a little bit. I have to change something. I'm gonna have to make that diameter a little larger. Oh, Brian, we got a 3D printer. We got one of the Bamboo Labs P1S. Oh my gosh. Those are amazing. Not sponsored, BT dubs. But seriously, it's not hard at all. That is like, they've simplified 3D printing so much. But for now, we have some show stuff that we're printing. But after that, I'll probably be making like little organizers for my specific projects. But yeah, it's pretty awesome. We kind of justified it based on like, well, for the stuff that we would make or stuff that we would buy to, you know, to have the different setups that we want to try, it would end up being probably easier to How you doing, Elsa? Good to see you again. But yeah, so there'll be a lot of cool things, hopefully, that we'll be able to play around with. Working, man? Oh, man. A little bit. Yes, good to see you. Good to see you. So one of those pocket pins that I made before I left for the DC trip, it was pretty well received. There were quite a few people that were interested in putting their name on the list, so to speak, that I haven't made. You make more tooling than anything. Well, I might have to hit you up, man, because I got one of my projects is going to need some specific tooling. We made some. Are you? Did it typo you and say call it, or is that something that I have no idea what it is? We made some Pulte holders. I don't know what those are. Ah, okay. Well, that's awesome. Well, I got a question for you, Brian. I need your expertise. So this particular collet doesn't want to hold this mandrel super tight. So if I tighten it too much, it'll like lock the whole collet that I had trouble with last night getting off. But I did get it. And then on the other hand, I think that the mandrel itself is is slightly less than what it was supposed to be, maybe. I don't know. Thank you. Okay. But I was thinking, you know, maybe getting some like painter's tape just to kind of girth up the back end. Unless you've got something, a better idea. Because the collet's the correct size, it's just the mandrel I think was like perfectly done at the size that it was intended. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. It does lock up a bit. Like I think this brass mandrel is right at 15, and then when this collet is compressed all the way down, it's like just under 15 or something like that. So it's like so accurate that you can't, when you tighten it, you sink this faceplate all the way back. That looks too big. 16, 1450. Oh no, that's fine. That's good. Although I do find it nice that these holes are pretty on point with the diameter here, which is the case for all the brass mandrels that I've done. So I don't know if it was intentional or coincidence, but either way, I like it. Like this one, I mean, obviously it's based on diameter, but still, it is convenient. I don't know if it was planned that way. If you were looking for notes or any tooling conveniences that I've noticed. All right, we got 3 barrels here. These are all going to be Marauders, so we're going to go ahead and crank these out right quick. That way Abby can get these sanded, and then I can start working on the diamond painting pens. It's going to be the exact same color scheme as this. This is the Patina. Yeah, copper patina. Let's see how this goes. that was satisfying from this end. There's nothing there. Thought I hit a little chip. That would mean different repairs would be underway. Let's see how it matches up with this cap. Looks, y'all. Oh man. Nice. Boom. All right, look at that. It's gonna look better here a little bit. First one done. That's a lot of clear that ended up there, huh? Right. All right, this blank is called Copper Patina, working on barrels of fountain pens. I've already done the caps, I've already done the sections, so all I need to do is finish shaping the barrels here. There we go. Hey, let's crank her up a bit higher here. There we go. Okay, good. A little faster. There we go. There we go. That feels. Nope. Let's. I gotta go a little coarse right there. There you are. Sometimes they just need little sweet nothing spoken to. Oh man, I miss turning. And I miss it because it's been well, it was the weekend, and then I was doing it yesterday, but, well, and the day before, I guess. But, you know, I missed it, okay? Missed it. I don't want to talk about it anymore then. Alright, I'm going to slow this baby down a bit right here. There we go. Now let's take a look at it on the cap here. We're looking there. Nice. We like this. Going great. Didn't have any chips. No chip outs. There was one concern, but it wasn't there. Okay, let's see if we can do this bad boy on one. I'm not gonna do that. It'll be bad. Not a good blank to try this on. Or that on. I mean, this is fine. Who needs a metal lathe when you have a square carbide? This is pretty much what it does. It's the opposite direction. And it doesn't change depths. Doesn't usually squeal at you either. That's alright. Okay. How are we looking? Nice. It might not look all that impressive from that end. But once it gets all cleaned out and polished up, it'll look better. But we're going to take a look at the diamond painting pins. Oh, there you go. That's good, that's good. Alright, let's empty Morty out right quick. Let's take a look at the blanks. So I got to do the regulars for this week. Oh, lordy. Alright. Well, you might get a sneak peek of another color scheme that we got coming up too. But there we go. This is them. These are the larges here. And the ones under it are the other color scheme for the next week. Or something like that. Yeah. I'll be working on regulars. Those are the larges and the minis. Come on now. Lay flat-ish. Flatter. Oh. We got two, you know, I got just a little guy, a couple little guys. That'll be a fun little thing to do, I reckon. Yeah, let's get through that, huh? Alrighty, we're about configured. Sorry about that. That's the part of the thing when you're doing different projects. You got to reconfigure for each one, and that's stuff that, you know, sometimes I don't think people think about. Just thinking it's always set up. It probably sounds familiar to you too, Brian, huh? Somebody calls in, they're like, "Hey, I want this." I'm like, all right. Then they're like, "How's it coming?" And it's been like 20 minutes. All right, a little swig of cafe. Hey. Oh man. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Almost. Alright. Wires. Perfect. Brian, where are the bushings? I'm looking for my bushings. There we go. Wait. Nope, these are sanding bushings. Oh, did I put it in the other box? No. Ah. All right, I guess I got to order another set. There, you were right. It was right there. My man, always looking out. You the bomb. You give Old Faithful. Old Faithful. You give Old Faithful a good name. Redefine Old Faithful. Haha. Is that better? Which one sounds better? I don't know. What are we doing? Oh, by the way, when I was talking about some of the mandrels and bushings and stuff like that, you do custom stuff, right? If somebody had like something else entirely, you can set up for bushings stuff like that, different diameter and stuff. Just want to make sure that I am not doing it the wrong way there. I don't want to be misleading, you know? Okay. Right on. Awesome. Because somebody's been talking about them buying kits off of Temu, and that sometimes the stuff doesn't fit the same way. But, you know, I can imagine if you bought a whole ton of them from Temu, then what you'd end up wanting to do is, you know, at least get the practice out of it. Oh, you do customs all the time? What if I sent you a pen that I have made, and then I told you what I used to get to that point? Would you be able to reverse engineer that? And then make a mandrel for it? I'm being intentionally a little bit vague, by the way. But it is a pin design. That I'd be looking to get something specifically made in order to make many of them. Heck yeah. It's classified though. Classified. Ooh, that's nice. Okay. These are turning really nicely. Thank you. Oh, great. No stranger to those types of things, I see. All right, give me the down low. What is it? I'm just kidding. No. That's why I don't even bother looking at social media. Or if I do, I'm on a completely different profile with that, you know, doesn't really talk about pin making. It's like different types of engineering feats and stuff like that. But I'll tune back in every once in a while in the pin world community. Are you able to batch out parts? Or are you more of like a set of not more big things? I guess small items at a larger scale or bigger items at a smaller scale? Or y'all both? Or in the middle? Okay, I'll leave those right there for now. Perfect. Oh, okay, right on. That's good to know. We got to rebuild our research and development fund again. You just bought a printer. But yeah, regardless of what I do with the printer, I still want it. Right on. Oh, it's not massive or anything. It's relatively small. And then, are you able to start out with hollow stock? Like tubes? Or do you always start off with you know what I'm saying? Yeah, do you start with tubes or just rods? Not firing on all cylinders right now, it seems, huh? Oh man. Well, that'll save a little bit on the material cost then. And what type of metals are can you be like detailed with? Like I imagine that brass is probably really easy to work with because of it being a relatively soft metal. But then when you move to things like titanium, or what kind of complications does that add? Hmm. I was going to be talking to you more at the made about work stuff, but we spent more time getting to know each other, man. But yeah, these are some of the things that I was going to chat with you about. Just takes longer. Yeah, I figured. Stainless aluminum, heck yeah. That's awesome. I will. I'll keep that in mind. Oh. Yeah, I just gotta kind of figure out, I guess, the project cost and stuff like that. That way I can have a target number for my research and development fund. Inconel. I have never heard of that before. Is that a type of alloy, or is it a plastic? What is that? I don't know. I gotta go refill. Coffee. Oh yeah. A little splash of water because it's too hot. All right, back. Sorry about that. Gotcha. That's interesting. Oh man. What number was this? Any idea? Oh well. Hmm. About. Oh yeah, is there anything coming up, man? Any like turning shows or anything like that? Come on, buddy. Stop fogging up. I got some nice colors over there. There's other questions that I want to ask, but I'm a little hesitant to say them here. Talk to you offline. And you made it seem like the material cost wasn't going to be any different from the tubes or rods. Interesting. The amount of pins some people crank out is wild. Wild. Very impressive. Assuming that they're all same on par and everything. Right? Because you got variables working against you. There's, what is it? There's the three price, quality, and time. Something like that. But yeah. If you try to speed up stuff, you can lower the price, however the quality might also go down. But then, on the other hand, you gain more traction and exposure, if that was the direction you were trying to go. I find it strange how people value exposure. For example, somebody will spend like $100 on trying to get what they don't think is working anyways. For example, Etsy ads. So they'll spend like $100 in advertising, which in a lot of cases is more than what the product is valued at. So what they could do instead potentially is find someone that is an avid user. Boom. Then you work with that person. Anyway, that's a way, I suppose. That was just a run through of a thought that I had. But yeah, just kind of crazy because advertising would be, you wouldn't necessarily pay for anything other than the shipping, you know. In some cases, right? Because some people, if you get really massive followings, you could potentially have to pay, but that's how other people have been using their budgets of advertising. And that's in most ways pretty convenient, because I think of this in two ways. One, some people are deterred by things that are like advertised. So for example, if I go to a channel and they're advertising something that I have absolutely no interest in, because it's not anywhere close to what that person is doing, the credibility would probably not be as valuable as somebody that is using it all the time. For example, diamond painting pins, somebody that would be willing to work with you. But you also need to have, you know, somewhat of an establishment, because, you know, they're kind of taking a risk on people that are much smaller, and it really needs to be worth their effort and time. So I kind of think of it like that, not so much from me doing that for anybody else, but just thinking about that. If I was wanting to gain more exposure, that would be a better way to do it. However, you do have to find an area that you're into, and you know, you're there for the long haul, and you like it, and you're feeling it out. So you know, you can jump right into whatever club or whatever, but you know, as with most anything, I would definitely recommend kind of sitting quiet on the sidelines and observing first. Just observing. And then if there's something that's like super exciting, then jump on it and see if it's something that you want to do. Anyway, that's my little bit of advice today, huh? A little bit more challenging than smile at somebody. And you can still do that one too. Just make sure you're not going to be creepy about it. Don't want that. And as my disclaimer already said, I'm not responsible for the safety of the things that you choose to do. Some people, I guess, wouldn't want to be smiled to at. But in some ways, that makes it a little bit more entertaining for, I guess, people like me. But if somebody doesn't look like they want to smile, they just kind of have a grumpy look on, that makes for a pretty interesting response. So, who knows? Maybe they got a grumpy face because nobody smiled at them yet today. You can make the difference. You know? I keep turning over here because my box is usually over there. Okay, I don't need this. That one doesn't need to be there. Oh, so as far as print files go, most people that just get a printer that have never had a printer before, they recommend making yourself a scraper, right, in order to get your prints off of the tray. Now, I don't have a problem with that. That's not a big deal to me. However, I do find it funny how close that is to buying a knife. You know, buying a knife from a store, commercial knife type of thing, like a Benchmade, or maybe not Benchmade, but Buck knives, Kershaw, the ones that come in those really hard to open plastics. So in order to get the scraper off of the tray of the printer, you need the scraper. And just like that with knives, you need a knife to open the knife. Now, is that just a funny coincidence? Or is it intended? And don't say because people got sticky fingers, because that's not true. It was like that before. But just a funny, I guess, similarity there. But I guess maybe I'm the only one that thought about that, or thinks about that. I used to collect knives, and I would open them, but I've always found it strange that in order to get to them, that you needed a knife to open it, or scissors, obviously. I guess that was a flashback to the past. Figured it would be more relatable. That's alright though. Oh, a fellow pen maker came over the other day too. That lived in the area. It was cool. Helped him out with some some part of his project. It was a good time. Good time. You don't often see many people like, I mean, think about it. You don't really see anybody outside of work that, imagine if you saw people from work like at your hobby as well. It'd be kind of cool, but interesting. The more interesting thing, I suppose, is the proximity that we live to each other. That's crazy. And it's one of those things that you don't really find out until you start making the rounds and talking to people and stuff like that. But see, that's all that networking that's got to happen. Lawrence, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. And Brian's at work, just watching for the most part. But we've got some good peeps in the house. This is the copper patina blank. That'll be for this week's drop. Yes, sir. I started this stream by finishing the, or shaping the fountain pins of this blank. Abby's over there working on it, so hopefully before too long, we'll have be able to show some of what that looks like. Oh. One day in the near future, we're going to have, well, one, Abby's going to be doing the fountain pen. Ooh, actually. Well, we're going to be working on the fountain pen for the show pen. And supposedly, the reward is great. Apparently, the reward for winning is, I think, a belt. So I'm really looking forward to that. So we're going to be trying to get a little bit of space so we can work on that. And we've got all the stuff for the first iteration of the idea, at least. So hopefully one and good, but we go hard. If we're competing, we like to win. I'd never played croquet before until I went to a relative of the family's wedding, and then me and my team were behind by a lot, but then I kept getting holes and knocking them out, and we ended up coming from the back and then winning. And it was great because I didn't know what I was doing as far as like the rules go, and like the best way to strategize and all that, by knocking other people's like really away from the hole and all that stuff. But it was fun. Got you, Brian. No worries, man. I'm just glad you're here. But yeah, you know, I would consider that some beginner's luck. But on the other hand, some people are naturally, I guess, more athletic. I spend all kinds of time outside grilling up and stuff like that. Still hot? Oh man. still high. Yeah, it's toasty in here. Thanks for reminding me. Needed to pull that closer. But yeah, funny stuff. Funny stuff. And something else that's funny is when you get comments. Like if you look at, I think it was part 3 on some of the comments. It's so funny. Well, it takes some setting up, but at the end of the day, somebody was seemingly unhappy about something. But, you know, that's all right. They wanted to see the selling part. That's what it was. They wanted to see the selling part of the stuff that is made. And, you know, in my mind, it's like, well, it's kind of like throwing out a hook, you know? You don't really, when you watch reels and stuff like that, you'll see it, but you'll only see them catching like the fish, you know? You won't actually see all the time that was spent not catching it. So recording all that just for one thing is reminiscent of that to me. But yeah, and then even if I did do it, I could just be making like the cha-ching sound, you know what I mean? And then you'd be like, oh, well, I don't believe it. That's fine too. I guess at the end of the day, there will be people that are like, you can't sell that. And that's okay. Because they're right. They can't sell that. And that's okay. But just figured I'd throw that out there as a interesting thing about YouTube people. I like it. We're gonna do a different. Yep, working on them. Righty. 17, 25. There we go. This will be. What? Did you finish these fountain pen ones? Oh. Abby's got to change gears as well. Lawrence said hey. I don't know if you heard him. She said hey. Oh man, that'd be cool. Abby, I'll go get my laptop, set up a camera for Beware's facing you. Next time.
Break our internet.
Huh?
Break our internet and our power.
I can't hear you. What?
That'll probably break our internet and our power.
Well, the laptop doesn't pull that much. Oh man, if that was the case, we set Abby up with one cam. Oh yeah. Then she could have her own chat. Wouldn't matter. But where would the people go? Gotta get that fiber. Internet, that is. Fiber internet. Not the nutritional fiber. Hmm. That'd be cool, huh? That'd be kind of funny.
The camera?
You don't think so? Could pivot that one. Could pivot that one and do a split screen. It's all right. I tried. Maybe next time. you went somewhere last time I was on stream. Never mind. That was just a. Never mind. Never mind. I remember now. Yes. You working on anything? Go. Has anybody else ordered groceries? Initially, I was like, really? We're not going to be able to go to the grocery store and get our own stuff? Which, of course, you still can. But it's kind of interesting because it kind of forces you to meal plan, which I find, a little interesting. At least have an idea of what you're going to be going for throughout the week. It's kind of interesting. And you probably spend less money doing that too. Woo! Going to get your stuff right on. And then 102. Just get the fan going. Douse yourself in water and get the fan going and you'll be good to go. Swamp cooling method. Have you seen the air-conditioned vest? I think there's air-conditioned vests. There's certainly heat vests that Abby uses. I got her a heat vest for Christmas, it's an early Christmas present. Makes it a little nicer, keeping your core nice and toasty. But then on the other hand, I think it circulates water for the cooling. I have a neck thing that I think I've worn it out here before. It sits around your neck and then kind of hugs your neck a little bit, like you're getting held onto by a very weak. Yes. Well, if it heats up much more, I might end up having to hop in there and grab it. Got some ideas on paper, right on. Can't be in direct sunlight. Oh man. Oh man. I mean, our garage is closed, but can't go out in sunlight. Sounds a little vampire-y up here. I'm just messing with you. No, I don't like really being in sunlight either. I wear when I go to the beach, I wear long sleeve shirts all the time. I don't like being out in the sun, getting my skin baked either. Ah, well, that'll, I suppose, do it as well, huh? But same outcome, I suppose. I'm not on heart meds, but do avoid the sun. Big old fishing hat and long sleeve shirt. I'll even wear pants if it's a really sunny day, or if I've been there for a couple days already. The other part of it is I don't like sunscreen, being all lathered up. Look at the way that feels. You feel like a vampire? I would wonder if I could shift my circadian rhythm to be nighttime oriented. Wow. Just flip your schedule around. Sleep during the day. And then catch the evening sunset, and then that's how you start your new schedule day. Hello again from Turkey. How are you doing? Good to see you. There were some people that came from Turkey that were at the DC Pin Show. Had someone from Poland near me, had someone from Ireland. And then, yeah, Turkey. I believe Galen Leather's from Turkey. Or done in something like that. I'm not positive on that. So something interesting that happened at the show, people that came from other countries, they brought limited supplies because of like the declaration that they would have to do for importing stuff. But they brought like templates and stuff, or not templates, but prototypes and other products that they have that you can order or reserve. But they brought some inventory, just not like a huge amount. It was more of a display kind of presentation, I would say. So that was interesting, and it's something that I didn't even think about. But as far as like international people, when they travel and they're bringing a lot of the same thing, it's viewed as, you know, you're intending on selling this stuff, right? I want to say there was a rule that you couldn't come back from maybe New York or something like that with more than 5 watches. I don't know. Maybe that was just a story that I had heard at some point because there were so many counterfeits and stuff of the Rolexes and things like that. So they weren't wanting people. Oh, that's not. It wasn't from New York. It was from just another country, I guess. But yeah, kind of funny. You weren't supposed to take more than 5, otherwise it would be viewed as like an intent to sell kind of thing for merchandise. Let's see. Am I going to the Florida Pin Show? Yes, sir. Yes, indeed. We will be going to the Florida Pin Show. Abby's got a show coming up next weekend, not this coming weekend, but I believe the next weekend. And she's going to San Francisco. And she'll be there at the table with Bart from Zodiac Pens. And I'll be home prepping up stuff for Flo Rida. But yeah, why do you ask? We've got some ideas for a show pin. There's a Makers Challenge. It's a fundraiser to try and raise as much for Reefer League. I believe it's going to this year again. But yeah, it'll be pretty fun. It's going to be going hard, but I know other people are too. So. Not just hard, but clever. You know? Let's see. 25. But yeah, I think that would potentially be a stream that wouldn't be very fun to watch necessarily, because I would kind of not entirely tune out that the stream is live, but you know, be in the zone, so to speak, so we can focus on getting that. Yeah, I don't know. Do I want to see that happening in real time? Yeah. And then on the other hand, I suppose it could be more like I'm just videoing everything and just kind of collage it into a whole show setup thing. Which would be kind of cool too. Make for a cool video. But just my lathe isn't so loud. bearings. Like to knock around a bit. I know, you should just change the bearings. They're done. Never do. So, still makes a little bit of a sound. It gets to a point where you're like, well, this is still the bearing. Not a good time to try and take it apart and figure it out though. At least time of year. You know. A lot of stuff happening. All right, honeycomb it up. We're good to go. I've been on night shifts for deployment. I think it was 5 to 5 or something like that, or 6 to 6, something like that. 12 and 12 o'clock. Maybe even 8. Maybe 8. Yeah. 12 on, 12 off. And then, yeah, so it was just nicer to be in at night sometimes. It is more peaceful, I'll tell you that much. People can't really see. Let's see. Let me read that. Ready-made pencil set kits not sold in your country. No worries. Where are you from? You bought them from England. Was that from Beaufort Inc.? They're expensive. Yeah. Well, I mean, I do have advice. I do have advice. And this is, you have to understand, this is coming from somebody that's not familiar with how you get stuff for what it is that you want or need to do. So kind of take it with a grain of salt. However, for things that you buy, I mean, that's just how things kind of work. Like, you have to buy something or be able to make something with whatever it is. And in your case, you want to do pencil kits. That's awesome. What you can do is you can find existing pencils, depending on where you wanted to start too. And that's, you know, there's a lot of avenues with this, but ultimately find what it is that you like doing, and then try to do it with the least amount of stuff possible. For example, if I was going to start over again making dispo pens, I would need the cap and the barrel to connect, and I also need the section and the barrel to connect. And so how do you do that? You use a set of taps and dies. I don't want to spend $350 on the taps or the dies to accomplish that, which is reasonable. But what you can do instead is get something that's like $15, and then you have an entire set of taps and dies that range from like 1/8 to 1/2 inch, or maybe even 7/16, depending on what it is that you go get. But there's a lot of stuff that I do that doesn't really require expensive things like kits. I don't really buy kits unless they're on sale as a starter pack. Everything else I just kind of make it from nothing. So yeah, one of the simplest things is probably you have to find what you're interested in. Find out what other people are interested in, whether it's the color of material, the type of material, that kind of stuff. There's a lot of different things to consider. However, don't view it, if you're starting off, don't look at me as the standard. I guess is another key takeaway there. Yeah, because we've been at this for almost 6 years now, and we've just kind of accumulated stuff over time as we needed it. So if you're trying to do stuff that is inexpensive, you're just going to have to flex your creativity to compensate for that. Yep. But if you were interested, there are like EDC beads that you can do. So that's actually a pretty, based on the time spent doing something, you can actually have a pretty high yield from that. And people build their entire brands or businesses around EDC beads. But you can turn those with your cutoffs. So, and then if you were being like intentional, then you would make them as sets. So there you go. There's a couple things you can do that actually don't really require much of any money. But I think my video that I called it was scraps, and it was just about the 1/2 inch size cutoff that I had. Some people like want to get my cutoffs, but I use them for a lot of different things, so I don't really sell them. Like if I have an idea for a tap and die connecting sort of thing, connection, then I will go ahead and grab a couple little pieces and try out those connections as quickly as I can. That way I can see if it'll work for the project that I'm working on. And I gotta have little scraps on hand for me to do that. But on the other hand, you could turn them into EDC beads. If you're savvy with knots, is there like a certain type of fabric that you can get that's on par with like 550 cord or something? Because that was another part of it, that you can, there's tons of different colors that you can use. So you can basically just make an EDC bead brand entirely. And all you do is you make EDC beads that are a specific size, and then you have different profiles, and then you have different colors that you do. And then you can even level up to different materials as you start expanding, or just wanting to try stuff out. That's another valuable thing about it, is if you're trying stuff out, other people are also interested in trying it out, but they don't necessarily want to spend the money, so they will watch you spend the money and then see how you figured it out, and then they will feel comfortable doing it, and then that is how people will end up buying stuff like that. But yeah, it really kind of boils down to, is it because you want to make pencils, or are you trying to make something that you can sell or turn over or whatever? Because this is a pretty low cost thing that you could send to a variety of people free of charge. They would talk about you a little bit, assuming that you have a decent, like, if you have some sort of history of like selling or being a you'll have to have some sort of rep of some sort. Not representative, but reputation. And if you don't, then you might have to recalibrate your wishes with whatever it is that you're going for. And then don't give up on them. Just, you might have to go further away. Because the smaller you can make each step, the more manageable it becomes. And that goes with learning anything, really. Yeah. The other thing I'll say about it is it's a quarter-inch drill bit that I used for whatever size that the mandrel is that you have. So if you do have a mandrel that is like, if you have a mandrel, yeah, that'd be great. That'd be good. No, that would be good. Yeah, so here's a mandrel that I have, and it is what, 615 or so, and that's about a quarter of an inch. So make sure you measure your own first, and then grab it. Then you'll drill quarter-inch holes in it, and then grab all the little scraps that you have. Drill 7mm hole into all of them, and then base them, and then make them into beads. There's easier ways to do it, but you know, best thing to do is get started, you know, and that's how you should do it. But yeah, I have a whole bucket of things that I've already cut to 1/2 inch, and then drill a hole, 1/2 inch drill a hole, and you can line up about 5 of them or so on that one mandrel, and then you can turn and sand all 5 at the same time. So as far as efficiency goes, that is a potential for you. Or you can make them one at a time. Or you can make a variety of them at the same time. I hope that is more than enough to get you going there. But yeah, you don't have to buy anything to create value. It's just like y'all being here. I'm creating value for you, and you're also creating value for me. So it is a mutually beneficial thing. At least I think it is. The pins and plaques are for a fallen officer in town and an hour away. Oh, that's what we're working on right now, Lawrence? Man, sorry to hear that. I know small town officers are, for some reason, they leave so much more of an impact on people than you know, big city officers, which, you know, is unfortunate in some ways, but it really has to do with being involved with whatever it is that you're doing. So My kids really like the officers that are at their school. And so, if that were to happen there, man, I'd probably want to do something like that as well. That's good, that's good. I don't know, as soon as this goes, I'm going to do them slightly better, I guess. But you know what? The other way to think about that too is maybe instead of doing something when something like that happens, well, in addition to doing something like that, if something were to happen, like in your case, why wouldn't we go ahead and like, I don't know, bake cookies and bring them there, or you know, stuff to show that we appreciate them. I think the same thing about like teachers, and especially, oh man, especially my daughter's musical teacher. She volunteered her time like months, and this is I don't think she gets paid for this particular thing, but it's her and her mom. She is working with the kids to have a musical going, and then her mom is the one that's making the costumes and stuff. So it's really neat, and we've made them quite a few things so far. So. I'm very grateful for the people that go above and beyond on things that are very meaningful to them. And in this case, it's the music. I don't think she's a music teacher. However, the musical. And then also the band teacher. I was thinking about making one of those batons. Yeah. I'll probably make it in a two-piece. That way I can make the handle, and then I'll make the actual end of the baton with a little plug kind of thing that'll go into the handle. That way I can use two different types of wood. Yeah, pretty cool. But for now, it is pin making season, so I don't have time to be thinking anything. Except for with my words, as I work on the other stuff. Yes. Oh, if you haven't noticed yet, I believe that YouTube is going to be doing dubbed stuff for, I guess, different languages and stuff from lives. I haven't seen it working, or like in action, so to speak. So I couldn't tell you what that actually looks like, but it was an email that we got from YouTube that said that. Alrighty, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna make these into a tiny little 3 bump, and then a tiny little get out of there. Back this up a bit. But yeah, it's awesome of you. Both ways are good too, when trying to take away from that. It's just, if I was the officer, I think I would want appreciation at that point instead of I don't know. Yes, this is your teeny tiny thing. But what we're going to do is make it into a regular 3 bump thing. But we need to trim the diameter first, so it'll look a little more normal. Or not normal, but how I want it to look. A little baby tool. Yeah, let's shave off one more layer here. Don't need to, but makes it more appealing, I suppose. That's what it's about, you know? Let's see what's cuter than a tiny version of what is most commonly seen. Like here, I could do like a super detailed one, but then it would get kind of lost. But when you do a simple one, I think that this is going to look lovely. I don't know if anybody would want it. You will have it if they do. smallest one? No. However, it is a small one. Let's do it again. This one will be a little bit bigger. This one will be a lot bigger. Goodness. Go. It fell off at some point, I guess. Yeah, there we go. How about that? How about that? Oh, there is. All right, looking back at it, see if I want to change anything. Here you go. You like it? It almost looks like a keychain, or like it would be for a keychain, which makes me think that could be a good idea, huh? Little keychain. Oh yeah. I'm gonna write it down. Keychain. All right. What the? Oh. Come on, John. Well, everybody's gone. By myself. You know what? That's okay. Did you want me to turn it smaller and make a honeycomb into it? See, if you don't have fun, you shouldn't be doing it. Or, instead of that, if you're not having fun, you're missing all kinds of opportunities. I like that one better. Okay. Well, you know, let me do something real quick. I will be right back. I'm gonna throw an ad in here. So I'll be right back after. Okay. And now, I don't know how ads work, so I'm just trying to watch it happen. Aha! See, that's kind of what I was expecting. People don't like it. They don't like it, which is understandable. But how do I see how long that ad's for? No idea. Oh, there we go. There it went. Ooh. Oh, you're funny. Way too. Hey Brian, I don't know if you're out there, but have you ever heard of a Harvey lathe? I've been looking at them, and I like the features that it has and stuff like that. And it's a little bit larger, but not significantly. Doing, but it seems like a pretty nice machine. I'll probably have to change some of my tool rests. I think it has a bigger post than this one does. But still, I'd like to upgrade eventually. It would serve multiple purposes, really. Abby would get this one. I would get the new one, and then I would have one that would be set up for kind of odds and ends, similar to how I have my metal lathe configured, or my whip lathe, depending on what project I'm working on. Hey, O'Row, are you still there? I should have asked before, but were you trying to stick with pencils? Or were you looking at other avenues? If you happen to see this, I should have clarified that before as well. That way, just give it even better advice, or more specific, I guess. See, that's an interesting thing right there. Is it better advice? No, maybe not. However, it is more relevant for that particular person, so it's more specific and direct advice. So it's good for one person isn't going to necessarily be good for the other. This one. Yeah. Is it like the Slavic guy? Isn't that who you're talking about? Because he's like the only one that I've seen that actually has a relevant review. Like but also it's a T60 that he's reviewing, and I'm looking at the T40. But yeah, he does seem. He had gotten one, and then he was replacing it, or upgrading it, or switching it to the primary workhorse, something like that. But I think I know who you're talking about. Oh, no? All right. But yeah. Okay, Jimmy Page. Well, I appreciate that. I will investigate, because some lathes you can't see. Like when I went to Rockler, it was a coincidence seeing a Powermatic lathe there. At least the one that I'm at. Some of them, they have Powermatic or other brand deals already that they carry them in their store, and then other ones have like a standing, we can order it for you type of thing going on. And so sometimes they're able to get it less expensive than you could maybe from the official website or something like that. But yeah. Hey, Epcon, what's up, man? Frank. Yes, sir. You're not missing much. I am turning diamond painting pins at the moment, and just kind of chatting. So pretty quiet stream, relatively speaking. But this is the turning that I do every week, and it has been happening for the last every week for about 6 years now, 5.5 to 6 years. So this is what we do for the most part, and then the pins are the other part of it. So it is both my job and my hobby. So I am hashtag glad that I have somebody that is able to help me make that happen. Let's see, what are we doing? So that's awesome that it popped up on the main page for you. That means that the thumbs up and the likes and all that engagement stuff is working as it's supposed to. Lawrence, getting stressed out, man. What about? I'm not a licensed therapist by any means, but you know, I am here, you know. Go outside. Been cooped. Oh man. That's no bueno, man. Do you have a place that you could carve on inside? If you had some carving knives or something? Alright, I got an idea. Bring your lathe inside and we'll get you set up with some wet sanding, and then you can just wet sand inside. That way you won't have to go outside and it won't be a mess. How about that? That'd be kind of cool. You got carving knives? Right on. So you're set, you're set. If you've made a wooden pin already, what you could do is start carving it. That won't make a big mess. I don't know. The Dremel would be a mess. Or just hang out here and live vicariously through me. Is this a 120? Okay. Yes. Ooh. Or you can start writing your memoir. Diary of Lawrence. The memoirs from Lawrence. Yeah, write a memoir. And then, yeah. Have someone making you a 3D printed cobra head. What? That's cool. Gonna use it for a study stick. A study stick or a story stick? Steady stick. I haven't heard that term. Closest thing I was familiar with was when I went to a private Catholic school. And in study hall, when you didn't pay attention, they would hit you with the stick. Alright, it wasn't that dramatic, but that was a study stick I was familiar with. But yes, we got a printer, man, and it took a bit longer to set up. However, once you get everything all plugged in and stuff, the actual printing part is no longer a barrier, I will say. Because that's why we didn't like our Ender 3 Pro before, because bed leveling was such a pain. And so this is a way that, you know, it takes that part away. And so the barrier to entry in printing is, I would say, lowered again, which is pretty neat. Pretty neat. But on the other hand, there's a lot of stuff that, as you're learning what you're doing, is you're using a whole bunch of stuff. It's that whole cost of tuition, so to speak, where you got to put the time in order to learn. You had teacher, if you went to sleep in class, you'd yeah, things that probably aren't as accepted nowadays, huh? Things that aren't accepted the way that they used to be. Which I'm indifferent, I suppose. So I'm glad that I had what I did, but you know, maybe it isn't the best for everybody. So this live center the little back plate kept coming loose, and it doesn't affect its ability, but it does kind of expose the bearings. No. I'll have to do that. Let's see. One. Yes. Okay. I've asked this question before, but when somebody says that they've been turning for like 20 plus years, what does that mean to you? The reason I ask is because when I think of somebody that's been doing that for 20 years, I think of it as that is solely what they did for that period of time. So when I hear people say that, it just kind of catches me off guard, I guess. I've only been turning for like 5 years, but I guess 6 years. But I've been doing it like almost every single day for that time. Watching BattleBot, that's pretty fun. The ones that are really low that can flip are usually the ones that do the best. Or the ones with the simplest design are also the best. Some people over-engineer, and it really looks really awesome, but it doesn't work. It doesn't quite work that well. But it depends on the opponent too, I suppose. But that is a pretty entertaining show, I gotta say. The interesting stuff that comes in there, and all the different mechanisms, and then you just have somebody else with like a spinning disc that comes in and then wins everybody, or beats everybody, I mean. There's a bunch of people. No, that's not what I mean. I mean... Oh, never mind. But I guess specifically when somebody says that I've been turning for 15 years, how much do you think that they've turned? Like I know in the 5 years that I've been turning, I've turned in vicinity of 20,000 things. And probably more that never went anywhere. So I'm just kind of wondering, because it's not like a competition, it's more of a frame of reference when somebody says that they've been doing that for that long. Like, here's another prime example. My sister said that she would pay anything to go to a particular concert, and I was like, oh, anything. The literal part of my brain is like, anything. But then the other part of me is like, okay, she's probably exaggerating. At what price point would you be like, no, that's too expensive for a concert ticket? And then her response was like $300. And so the way that I think about that is like, if she would spend anything, as an exaggeration, $300 would be the cap for what she considers that. I just find that type of stuff interesting. Because when I first thought, I was thinking like $1,000 would be kind of where it was. Or depending on the concert she was talking about, maybe a couple thousand. And that's partially because, you know, it's a difficult to obtain ticket for one. And it sells out, so most people have been trying for a long time. Yeah, I guess more so what I was getting at is like, do they start that timer when they have a lathe? Or do they start that timer when they've been able to accomplish certain things? Or is it based on accomplishments at all? Just a thought. You see, with the scroll saw, I used a bandsaw or a chainsaw when I was much younger, and then I didn't use it for a long time in the military, and then I don't really consider that time with my chainsaw as chainsaw experience necessarily, or bandsaw experience. But I could technically say, I suppose, I've been using a bandsaw since I was 16, something like that. 15, somewhere around there. But then again, somebody else could have been using it for 15 years straight, and then they're just like a bandsaw wizard. Whereas I take forever to change the blade still, because I hardly ever do it. You know, I think some people like certain titles that go along with it, but don't necessarily, we don't have a clear understanding of what that actually means. I guess that's what I'm doing that. They start timing when they turn. Yeah. That's just, I don't know. Kind of an interesting thought, I guess. Because there's a lot of stuff that probably hasn't changed at all. So, in this particular case, I think veteran turners were quite valuable. Not like military veterans, but like people that have been turning for a long time. Alrighty, let me tidy this up, and then I'm going to work on some on a different project. We'll just have to see. So I'm going to run an ad as I get fixed up over here. Yes. So just a moment, we'll clean this up and get this up. And I switched it to manual. Hopefully this is better. If you can hear me. But if not, I'll wait until everything's all back. But yeah, just, it's nicer, I think, being able to manually do it instead of it just randomly popping up at different times, which I would find very frustrating. Almost done. Cleaner it up just to make another mess, but I might want some of what the upcoming mess is. We'll casting again. People hate that. I think you're able to skip it in 5 seconds as well. At least I'm able to on my other account that I'm watching it on. Is that the case? I don't know. Okay. Boom. Yeah, that's how we do it. What's up, Buttercup?
Spreadsheet.
You like spreadsheet? All right, all cleaned up. Gonna be working on something a little different. Let's see. There they went. All right, highly requested item here. Check this out. So, gonna be turning the heck out of these babies. It's gonna be turned around and then we'll shape it. Boom. Don't need the jaws. Put these in here. And now just kind of doing this to break it up a little bit, you know. A little change of gears, change of pace. Different thing to look at. Alright, I need to find one more thing right quick. It is in here. Just a moment. Kind of made a mess. There we go. We are good now. Yeah. What is up? Oh man, yes sir. What's up? How you doing? Welcome to the Maverick Workshop here, where I turn square things round. Or at least I try to. We'll see if this actually works. Hopefully. It'll be a real bummer. A lot of work that won't go anywhere. Alrighty. You've been turning pins for about 3 years. Heck yeah. Alrighty. Rahul. Rahul? I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. Alright, now we're good. Let's go ahead and give that a little bit of that. So for this, it's a good idea to wear a face shield for this type of material. Yeah. Boom. Alright, we're a little close. There we go. Whoop, there we go. Come on now. Okay. All right, Lawrence, no worries, man. Appreciate you. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to be leaving these a little larger. Pop this bad boy off. There we go. Huh. I like this. Hmm. I think I can make it a little faster next time. One is but a champion. Okay. Go ahead and knock this away a little bit so I can face it off a little bit. right. So right now I'm kind of in a groove where I am flat on the material, but I'm also cutting all the corners off at the same time. So that's how you're able to do it in one go. But it takes a little bit. It also makes the carbide really hot, so careful when you touch it after that. So this is going to be the back end, this is going to be the front end. So go ahead and mark this stuff. Yeah, confetti. My tool is hot. That's why initially I did the larger one first, but I didn't just go. Level crossing field. What's up? How you been? Making carrots. Been a pretty quiet stream. Sorry, my head is in the way. Okay, do that. Pop this a little bit. Loosen. Good. Just need to level out this high spot and that high spot. Level crossing, kid. What you been up to? It's been a little bit since my last stream, huh? Let's see. What do we want to do with this? We want to take it a little bit further back, I think. No, we'll leave it alone. I like it. Like my thumb and index finger like go right where I want it to. Yeah. But, you know, before I can continue, gotta see what the other part thinks of it. See, I was thinking about taking that one a little bit lower, a little narrower. Although I like it. I like this one more, I think. I'm going to drop that one down. Yep. Right. Ooh. That's nice. Oh! Lawrence, they have double instead of triple, yeah. They do. They do indeed. They also have quad and I think even quintuple start. But that kind of gets a little crazy. But yes. But I don't know if, because it's still kind of a specialty, I'm not sure what the cost would be on something like that. I've never looked at double start. You start getting to the middle, it likes to go a little wonky on this. But I've seen some like Acme threads too. Those look pretty darn cool. They're big. They're big and blocky. I think they're on actually a luxury fountain pen already. We don't want to make these too thin. So what do you think of this? I think that they're comfy. You're good with that? So this mandrel goes to right here, and so it's pushing in from there. So this part is kind of floating over top of it in a way, and then the rest of it, the reason it vibrates is because it's only supported here and here, and then when you push it together, it can create a little bit of a different shape. So there's a balancing act of having the between centers tight enough and not too tight, but it also makes it dance around sometimes if you put too much pressure on it. So that's where the file comes in handy. So slow the speed way down, and see, it wants to pop out sometimes. So that's not good. Sometimes you just got to sand a little bit more than you want to, but with a file, you're not actually burning through sandpaper. But that'll only work with flat profiles or flat areas of the design that you're working on, or whatever. But yeah, there's shinier spots right there where it's lower, and then the white spots is where the surface is. So I need it all to be that white. I mean, it's white from sanding, so it's not like it's just dust from. And then if you didn't know, I am only turning it about 700 for that part. And I did get the thumbs up for the stratified, so we're going to continue with those. So that's exciting. These are going to be nib holders, if you didn't know. Just got to get this one line clean. There we go. It's on the other side as well. Okay. Sorry about the whole head thing. It just is what it is. I'd relocate it if I could, but not a viable option. All right. Well, I think it is getting close to that time. So let's go ahead and wrap it up, yo. Good day at the office, you know. Started with some fountain pens and then worked our way through the regulars of the patina. Well, the fountain pens were also the copper patina, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, it was a good time, good stream. Met some new people. Thank you so much. And then on your way out, if you don't mind hitting that thumbs up, let me know you like hanging out. So, yes, indeed. Yep. Appreciate you hanging out, and I'll see you next time. Have a wonderful rest of your day.